Hey, Bayek, it's me, Ian. And in today's video, I'm looking at this. This is Tales That Witness Madness from 1973. It's an anthology horror film. Though a lot of people might argue there isn't that much horror in it, but I don't think that matters. It's I think it's a good film. There's also the belief that this is an Amicus film, and it's not. It's a World Film Services, though it does take a lot from Amicus. You can see in the style. See, some even have said it rips it off totally, but I think that's a bit unfair. But I can see where they're coming from. Now, it's 90 minutes long. It just sails by. It's so entertaining. But unfortunately, Rotten Tomatoes didn't think that at all. 29%. They really are savage with this. They really have a go at it. Well, I don't know what's up with them. I don't know. Really have. They don't seem to appreciate. It's just good. It's entertaining. You know, it really is. Anyhow, this is written by Jennifer Jane, who's really was, as well as a writer, an actress. And interestingly enough, she appeared in Dr. Terror's House of Horrors, 1965, which is the first Amicus film. And it was in the vampire section. She was also in the Medusa Touch, 1978, which starred Richard Burton. Great film, that. Also, the espionage film starring Michael Caine, The Jigsaw Man, 1983. So she's talented. She's also a writer, and she wrote this, all these various segments. Now, it's directed by another name who we have come across a lot in my time on this channel because of certain links with Hammer. Of course, it's Freddie Francis. Freddie Francis, films that he directed: Day of the Triffids, 1963, absolute classic, still love that. And of course, Paranoiac, which we reviewed not too long ago, did we? 1963. That's Oliver Reed. And guess what? That was a Hammer, wasn't it? He did The Evil of Frankenstein, 1964, because Hammer. He did A Nightmare, 1964 as well, another Hammer. But he also directed, and here's the link, Dr. Terror's House of Horrors from 1965. So yeah, we keep getting links, and this does often happen with directors. So he directed the first Amicus film. He did The Skull, 1965. He did Torture Garden, 1967. That's another Amicus anthology, Torture Garden. He did Dracula as Risen from the Grave. That's a brilliant Hammer film. He did Tales from the Crypt, 1972. Amicus, of course. He did Craze, which is 1974, which is a great, absolutely wonderful film. It's crazy. It's a great horror film, that one. Jack Palance stars in that one. The Creeping Flesh, he did that one, 1973. The Ghoul, 1975. And Legend of the Werewolf, 1975. All sorts. I have not mentioned all of them, but these are some of the films that he's directed. So excellent direction. Now, as usual, I always look at locations, and because they always sort of bring out a film to me when I watch it and think, oh yeah, locations, and I often recognise them because they're often used over and over again. Now we've got here Binfield Manor. Binfield Manor we've seen before. That's in Bracknell, Berkshire. Then we had Burnham Wood Park, Hersham, Walton on the Thames. That is used a lot. Golders Hill Park, which is Golders Green in London. And it was filmed at Shepperton Studios as well, so we've got all that. Yes. Right. So let me just go. What I'm going to go through is each segment. We have a link at the beginning, and then it goes back at the end. And that is in this clinic. Which again is reminiscent of a film like, say, Asylum, where you've got two doctors discussing the cases which turn into the stories. So in the clinic, we have got starring Donald Pleasence. Wow, Donald Pleasence again. So many great films. He plays Dr. Tremaine. His career goes back to 1954, of course, and he's in so many films. I just love him as an actor. The amount of work he did, and I'm only just going to mention a few because there's so many I've gone for ages. He was in The Great Escape. I think sometimes we forget that. 1963. He's in A Fantastic Voyage, 1966, and he was in my favourite James Bond film, and the first one I ever saw, which is You Only Live Twice, 1967, where he plays the definitive Blofeld with the cat and everything. He is fantastic, and it is one of my favourite Bond films. It is my favourite Bond film. It's the best. Yes. Then The Eagle Has Landed. He was in that, which is a great war film. You remember Michael Caine and all that? Then he was in The Uncanny, 1977. And then, of course, I've got to mention it because he's so important in all the Halloween films up to 6, I think he was in. So it was Halloween 1978, Halloween 2, 1981, then Halloween 4, because Halloween 3 is totally different, and brilliant as well. But Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers, that's 1988. Halloween 5, that one is, I think that one's 1989. Yeah, 1989, that one. The Revenge of Michael Myers. And then Halloween, The Curse of Michael Myers, 1995, and that was the last one. I don't think it was very well in that film. It's his last appearance, and he died sadly after that. But I've just mentioned Halloween, but that is just really scraping the surface. There's so many films. Look up his biography if you want to see what Donald Pleasence has done. Anyhow, I've gone off track again. But anyhow, then we've got Jack Hawkins, who plays Dr. Nicholas. He was in, he goes back in his career, right back to 1930. Again, it's a massive career, but outstanding films. The Bridge of the River Kwai, 1957. Ben-Hur, I remember him so well, that in 1959. Lawrence of Arabia, Lawrence of Arabia, who could forget that, 1962. Zulu, of course, Zulu, brilliant, 1964. Waterloo, he was in that, which is one of the favourite films of mine. Notice I'm picking out favourite films. Nicholas and Alexandra, he was in that, 1971. Young Winston, even, 1972. One of my favourite Vincent Price films, Theatre of Blood, 1973. He's in that as one of the critics. And this was his last film. And of course, his voice, he had throat cancer, it messed his voice up a lot, and he often used dub. And the Charles Gray does the dubbing of his voice in this film, and it's his last one. He died, I think, about the time it was released. Then we'll go into the story. So we've got all of this, got that in the clinic introduction. Then we got first story is Mr. Tiger. This stars Russell Lewis, who plays the boy. But he is really more famous now as a writer. He wrote all the prequel Inspector Morse stories called Endeavour. I've never seen it, so I don't know. But they were massively popular. They ran from 2012 to 2023. Yeah, massive. Then we've got Donald Houston, who plays Sam. His career went back to 1949. He was in Doctor in the House, 1954. Longest Day, 1962. Maniac, Hammer film, that one, 1963. He was in Carry On Jack, so I've got a Carry On film, 1963. He was in 633 Squadron, which I absolutely loved. That's 1964 war film. Where Eagles Dare, well, crikey, he's in Where Eagles Dare, 1968. And The Seawolves is a good film. That was 1980. Then we've got Georgia Brown, who plays Faye. She really is well known as a singer, she was, and a stage actress. She was in Nothing But the Night, 1973 is a film, and The 7% Solution, 1976. That was a sort of, yes. Then we'll move on. The next story is Penny Farthing. This stars Peter McNernary, who plays Timothy. He was in Victim, 1961, which is another excellent film. Entertaining Mr. Sloan, a very excellent film of the time, controversial as well. The Cat and the Canary, 1978. He was in those. Then we've got Frank Forsyth, who plays Uncle Albert. He goes back to 1933 in his career. He was in Carry On Screaming. Yes, 1966. He was in Carry On Again, Doctor, 1969. So Carry On films are always popular. And Now the Screaming Starts, 1973. And then a lot of TV series and TV films. And then we've got another name we've come across before. Recognisable actress, really, really good actress. Susie Kendall. She plays Beatrice. She was in Circus of Fear, 1966. To Sir with Love, 1967. Up the Junction, quite an important film, that 1968. And then we've got The Bird with the Crystal Plumage, 1970. An Argento classic again. Wow, what a brilliant director there. And then she was in Assault, which is a brilliant film as well. It's 1971, a British film. That Fear is the Key. I love Fear is the Key. Alistair MacLean adaptation story, 1972. Great film. Torso, 1973. Oh yes, a brilliant film. I've reviewed that one quite a while. It's a slasher. And then Craze, another film she was in, which is a brilliant horror film. The next segment of the stories is, that just makes me smile, this one. It's called Mel. It stars Michael Jason, who plays Brian. Now, films that Michael Jason was in were Cromwell, which I love. He plays Henry Harrington. What a role in 1970, that. Nicholas and Alexandra, classic film, was in that 1971. He was in Craze. Oh, Craze keeps popping up again. Direct at Link, everything. Zulu Dawn, good film, 1979. And of course, if you're a Doctor Who fan, you say, hey, It's the Valeyard. Yes, he played the Valeyard in The Trial of the Time Lord in 1986. A whole season. Brilliant, that's Trial of the Time Lord. That was the Sixth Doctor, Colin Baker. Then we've got the legend that is Joan Collins, who plays Bella. Joan Collins, you can talk about her career all day and all night. I'm a great admirer of Joan Collins. The talent as an actress, and she can still do it. She's great. She goes back to 1951. She had a career in Hollywood. A notable film that stands out there is The Girl in the Red Velvet Swing. That was in 1955. And she was also, as a career, in a lot of roles that developed in films and that. Other films were Tales from the Crypt, 1972, which was the Amicus film. And guess who directed it? Yes, Freddie Francis. Fear in the Night, 1972, which was a Hammer film with Peter Cushing and Judy Geeson. That is an amazing film as well. A lesser known Hammer film as well. Dark Places, wow, 1973. That's got Christopher Lee and Herbert Lom. Whew. Wow. Then The Stud, 1978, and The Bitch, which is kind of a sequel to it, 1979. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And then, of course, we've got her in Dynasty. Dynasty in TV land. Because TV, even though I say TV, she's always had this wonderful cult following because she's appeared in every kind of TV brilliant series that you could name. She is a real star to me. She just is. And the stuff that she's been in is fantastic. And also she's a very talented actress in terms of the theatre as well. She's done a lot of work in the theatre. Anyhow, it's like a Joan Collins loving. I shut up because I could go on. But the story is great and it's very funny as well. I absolutely love the story that she's in. It's absolutely great. Then the final story is Luoa. Luoa. Yeah, sorry, I'm very good there. This stars Kim Novak, who plays Oriole. Now, Kim Novak, you're thinking, oh yeah, she's a big American actress. Yeah, she was, but a really big one film that she's really well known for is, well, it's a classic, Hitchcock, Vertigo, 1958. What a film that is. And she's here doing this, but like so many of these actresses in this period, they came over, you know, it's in the 70s to do these kind of films, just small roles, and there they are. So she was in that, and she was also, it's interesting, her career still carried on. She was in, I didn't realise, a Guy Hamilton film, The Mirror Cracked, from 1980. Yeah, all sorts of things there. So then we've got Michael Petrovich, who plays Chemo. Just a lot of TV series. Wow, TV series, TV films, amazing. And then we keep having Doctor Who connections. And guess what? Mary Tam plays Ginny. Mary Tam. Now, her film career, there's just a few feature films that stand out. The Odessa File, 1974, and the Likely Lads film. You know, the Likely Lads, 1976. She's in that. But if you're a Doctor Who fan, you know her as Romana. She played the first Romana in a whole season, the Key to Times series, 1978 to 1979. She was great in that. Absolutely great. Absolutely. It's Tom Baker, of course. Brilliant with Tom Baker. What else can I say? Anyhow, that's it. I've got on to... Let's get back to So what's my assessment of all these stories? I love them. They're totally entertaining. From the Mr. Tigers story it's got the little boy who's got his invisible friend, who they all think is an invisible friend, called Mr. Tiger, and he is a tiger. It's got this humour because he's there with his big bones and that, feeding the tiger, and his mom's putting up with it, But it's so funny because the tiger is real. That's a punchline. The tiger is real. It's so funny. It's good. I don't think I'm saying that is giving it away. I think you can tell straight away. That is just amazing. Absolutely loved it. What can I say? Brilliant. And then Penny Farthing's an interesting one. It's a time travel one with a penny farthing. And I think it's really good. I really enjoy it. Again, some people not quite as keen on this. It's got a lovely twist to it. And I like the idea of the penny farthing goes back sort of Victorian Edwardian period. That's what you sort of gather it is. Really good. Then Mel. I've mentioned Mel. Of course, it's a brilliant performance by Michael Jason and Joan Collins. Guess what? He brings this tree in. He's called Mel. He's a bit of an artist. And Mel seems to be having rather an effect in their relationship. It's so funny. It's funny as well, but they play it brilliantly. They do. The other relationship, the other woman's a tree. I mean, crikey. It's funny. It's amazing. And it's got a very dark sense of humour as well with it. It's brilliant. Love it. And then Luo. I think that's how you pronounce it. Luo. The very last one. That has got a brilliance. Well, it's quite... Now, people say about horrific. This has got a very dark... horrific side to it, especially when the daughter has to be sacrificed and killed. She has to be a virgin. She has to be sacrificed, and then they have to eat her. Yes, it's that mad. It's wonderful. It's so wonderful. So why were people so mad about this series? You have a blast with it, an absolute blast. Okay, it's daft. But that humour is part of it. But it's well done. It's well acted. It's well put together. And it's thoroughly enjoyable. I don't know if you've not seen this. You just have a blast with it. People might think it's weaker or not as strong as... I could say like Asylum is one of my favourite. And it really is. Maybe it's not quite... But it's different from Asylum. It's this is... Just take this as what it is. It's just pure entertainment, and all the better for it. Things don't have to be scary. Saying, "Oh, it's not scary." Doesn't matter. It's brilliant. I love it, and I think that's it. Really, I can't say anymore. I just thoroughly enjoyed it, and here it is. Look, there it is. Look at that cover. Yeah. I think you can go on Amazon. I think it's still there on Amazon. I don't think it's too expensive either. It's really good. My only gripe, but I'm not going to gripe because I think it is quite cheap. There's no extras. Do with some extras. Maybe a re-release. Somebody could do this. There's this. Look, this is nice, isn't it? Yeah. I mean, this is great. Yeah, somebody could get all of this, and I'd love to know even more about this film. It's absolutely, it's a blast. Absolutely. And that's it. Yes. So, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe and we'll let you know when I put out all these videos. Look in the playlist. You can see all the things that I do, all the films I review, TV series, and also music as well. And if you like this particular video, please give this video a like, because it gets it out into YouTube and algorithms and all that. So, yeah, please give it a like. And also, if you've got any comments, I love to read your comments. I'll always answer your comments. Absolutely love reading your comments. And bike it costs notes. You can't say fairer than that. And that's it. So, all I've got to say is, I'll see thee again.